federal use receipts to provide funding for major events. The 2017 Super Bowl received $25.4 million for one game. For 6 World Cup matches, we anticipate even more. We have a bold vision for legacy, built on the spirit of innovation. Houston Soccer Innovation Institute will play a leading role in unifying the city's vast and unique resources, enhancing the fan experience, and impacting social and environmental responsibility to help grow the reach and influence of the world's game. Defined by our diversity, Houston is the city of the future that looks like the world. A world-class city that's rich in infrastructure, experienced in hosting major global events, and operationally prepared to host the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Houston is a community that's committed, invested, unified, and innovative. Most importantly, the spirit of Houston is unique. It's our intangible power that enables us to rise to the next level. It is a force that our city brings to the table and is the difference maker. Houston is set to deliver great results and ready to join the FIFA World Cup legacy. We know you like what you see. It's all here. Get ready for a wonderful day in Houston, Texas.
Thank you. Yeah, so we kicked off the meeting back in October with that video. I thought it went over quite well. I do want to acknowledge some of our board leaders who are here with us today. First and foremost, the President and CEO of the Harris County Houston Sports Authority, Janice Burke. So Janice is truly actually the inspiration and the leader behind this World Cup bid. She brings all the big sporting events to Houston, whether it's the NCAA Final Four, college football playoffs, any kind of world championships and things. The Harris County Houston Sports Authority leads the efforts in those things, and I'm actually part of that organization, just focused on the FIFA World Cup bid. We have Alex Lopez Negrete over here, part of our board. David Fletcher in the back, part of our board, and John Stacy from Regions Bank over here. So I think that I got everybody. And Irene Flores is representing Chevron, right? So they're on our board as well. So everybody wants to know, are we going to win or not, right? That's the big question. That's the big question I have as well. Probably the most important bit of information to take with you today is that we're about 2 months away from a decision. So North America was awarded this bid back in 2018. Janice and others have been working on this for years in bringing the World Cup to not only the United States, but to Houston. And after this entire period of time, this long period of time, we're now just about 2 months away from a decision. We're being told mid-May is when the 10 final cities will be selected and announced. I wouldn't be surprised if that gets delayed, because that's been sort of part of the process up to this point. But we are getting late in the game, and they do need to make a decision. And I think they're pretty focused on trying to get that decision done here in mid-May. So about 2 months to go, and hopefully we're back here at the Ion having a big celebration to say that Houston will be a host city in 2026. So we like our chances. We feel very good about our chances. We really don't have any weaknesses as a city. In fact, there's a couple reasons why we like to do events here at the Ion. Number one, innovation is a big part of our story. You saw that come out in the video, and the Ion is obviously a leader of innovation here in the innovation corridor that's being built. But also, we love being in this room because you can see downtown, you can see NRG Stadium, you can see the Galleria. It's really representative of one of the strengths of our bid. And you saw this in the video, is that we are a city where everything is close, everything is under one umbrella. Right, whether you're the airports, the police, the fire, everything kind of falls under one jurisdiction. Where, not to talk about other cities, but there might be a city to the north where the games are actually played in a different city. So this is a great place to be, and really symbolic of what all the good things that exist here about Houston. So we've done a lot of great work over the years, of the last few years. Legacy is a driving force. Again, you saw that in our video. Really from our leadership on down in the community, they want to make sure that when the final whistle blows and the games have moved out, that a positive impact has been left on our community, and that's really the main driver of this. Because at the end of the day, we're not going to make any money on this. There's no one really to make any money. There'll be a positive economic impact to the region of somewhere in the neighborhood of 800 million to 1.3 billion. Businesses will all reap the benefits of that. But at the end of the day, legacy is the driving force behind why we want to do this. So with that, I know people have lots of questions, and lots of times those questions are better than me just speaking. So I'll open up the floor, and hopefully there are a few. And usually once we get one going, it rolls. So who's got one? Yes? Great question. We are one of 17 cities for 10 spots. Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore, DC, Cincinnati, Nashville, Atlanta, Orlando, Miami, Dallas, Kansas City, Denver, LA, San Francisco, Seattle. So pretty much every big city in America except for Chicago. Chicago chose not to bid, is our competition. So really strong competition. Yes?
First of all, thank you very much for having all these stakeholders. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
She asked the question, I want to follow up. I already heard that New York and LA are kind of like shooing for the finals, semi-finals.
It's not official, right? But it's a pretty good, it's a pretty strong belief that that's going to be the case. So none of the cities have been named. In fact, I was at an event last week, and the New York City officials were there, and they're still afraid they're not even going to host games. They're worried they're not going to get it. But I think it's safe to assume that these big cities in America, LA and New York, will serve as hosts, and they have the biggest stadiums, to be honest with you, which gives them an advantage in hosting the final, and also their time zones are good in terms of working out for international broadcast windows. So we're by the way, our stadium's not large enough to host a semifinal or a final. You have to have 90,000+ seats. We have 72, so we fall short in that way. So, anybody else? Joe.
So 6 games, and
Yep.
this could be group play or quarterfinals? Or?
Yep, great point. So, some vital statistics. There will be, at the end of the day, 16 cities that host, 10 in the US, 3 in Mexico, likely 3 in Canada. There's 80 matches that are going to be played across those 16 cities. So those 80 matches will be dispersed to every city. We anticipate 6 here in Houston. So the line that we've been using kind of over and over for the last couple of years is imagine 6 Super Bowls in our city in June or July of 2026 over the course of 3 weeks. All the matches will be played at NRG Stadium. So it'll be 5 or 6 is the number we're anticipating at this time, although they haven't quite clearly stated it. So, anybody else? All right, well, again, thank you so much for your support of the art of soccer. Should we win, fingers crossed, and everything else, we anticipate continuing this program. It was so successful, and we did it in a bid phase. Imagine now when we're in a host phase, and the enthusiasm for our city is 10 times, 100 times greater than what it was. We really think we can have a lot of success. We'll have more time as well. COVID was a huge challenge in getting this together. So without COVID, with more time, and as a host city with enthusiasm, we can imagine ourselves with hundreds and hundreds of soccer balls across the city. A great campaign, and obviously with a portion of the proceeds going towards our legacy strategy and back to the community as well. So feel free to grab a bite to eat. Network as long as you can, and I'll be around if anybody wants to chat any further. So thanks very much, everyone. All right. I know. I hope so.
an easy one. Just tell us your name, please.
Chris Canetti, ChrisCanetti.